The bottom line is that I simply want to make ever better cars, no matter what kind they are. Even though technology is advancing at a rate that blows our minds, no one could have guessed that there would come a day when you could get some water from the kitchen sink, pour it into your car's tank, and be good to go on a trip to the supermarket or even another state. However, Toyota's announcement about an engine that will soon end the era of electric cars suggests that it is possible for car engines to run on water. But what are the odds that a car can run on only water without fuel or electricity? Stay with us as we explore the new and exciting advancements in car technology and discover all Toyota has to say about their new water engine. Toyota's latest innovation is likely to disrupt the car industry as we know it. Imagine a car powered by water. This mind-blowing vehicle uses an advanced electrolysis process to convert water into hydrogen, which fuels the engine. Its engine makes use of the chemical energy released during the recombination of hydrogen and oxygen to produce power, releasing only water vapor as a byproduct. This not only reduces harmful emissions, but also addresses the growing concerns about global warming and air pollution. Toyota's innovation promises a cleaner, greener future for transportation, aligning with global efforts to combat climate change. Although electric cars have been at the forefront of the green automotive movement for years, praised for their zero-emission status and reliance on renewable energy sources, Toyota's water-powered car offers several unique advantages over traditional electric vehicles. While electric cars rely on batteries that require charging from the electrical grid, Toyota's water-powered car uses water, an abundant and renewable resource. The electrolysis process, which splits water into hydrogen and oxygen, can be powered by renewable energy sources such as solar or wind, making the entire system more sustainable. But that's not all. Electric cars have been marketed as zero-emission vehicles, but the production and disposal of lithium-ion batteries pose great environmental challenges and require a large investment of resources. However, Toyota's water-powered car sidesteps these issues completely. According to the announcement made by the Executive Vice President and Chief Technology Officer Hioki Nakajima, at a recent meeting in Japan, Toyota plans to change the future of transportation with this new technology. Nakajima talked about Toyota's big plan to stop being just a car company and start being a mobility company that helps people have many options for movement. He was joined by two other leaders, Takeru Kato, who is in charge of making electric cars called BEVs, and Mitsumasa Yamagata, who will lead the team making hydrogen cars when the factory opens soon. Toyota's hydrogen fuel cell cars work by using a chemical reaction between hydrogen stored in the car and oxygen from the air to make electricity that powers the car. This system includes an important part called an electrolyzer. The process is very efficient and safe as it doesn't need much energy and doesn't produce any harmful byproducts. One of the best things about this process is that it doesn't need a big heavy tank to store the hydrogen. The electrolyzer can make hydrogen as it's needed, making the car lighter and more efficient to use. To use hydrogen fuel effectively, some parts of the car's motor need to be changed. The fuel injectors, which spray fuel into the engine, need to be adapted to spray hydrogen correctly. Also, the engine block and cylinder head need to be stronger to handle the high pressure of hydrogen fuel. Other parts, like valves and spark plugs, also need to be made specially to help the engine run well and safely. Toyota's water engine is better than other motors that use hydrogen simply because it is much easier and cheaper to store water than hydrogen. Hydrogen is a gas, so it needs special tanks that can handle high pressure. These tanks are heavy, expensive, and can leak, which can be dangerous. Water, being a liquid, is much easier to store and doesn't need special tanks or high pressure, making it safer and more practical. This makes the water motor versatile, suitable for small cars, big trucks, and even power plants. Its simplicity and safety make it a better choice than other types of motors. Plus, it helps reduce reliance on fossil fuels and cuts down harmful emissions, making it a more sustainable option for transportation and energy generation. However, it may surprise you to know that this whole motive to make a car powered by water only isn't exactly an original idea. The history of water vehicles includes others who tried to do the same. The number of claims and attempts are sure to blow your mind. Scientists doubted their stories, explaining that water is very stable and requires a significant amount of energy to split it into hydrogen and oxygen. According to the laws of physics, you cannot get energy from water alone because it takes energy to break the bonds holding the water molecules together. Some scientists also reminded people of Stanley Meyer, who, in the 1980s, claimed he had made a dune buggy that ran on water. However, Meyer never provided solid proof, and his claims were found to be false. He was even convicted of fraud in 1996. Jip's story sounded a lot like Meyer's, and people were very skeptical. In 2002, hydrogen technology applications claimed they had a device called Aquagen that could split water into hydrogen and oxygen. Initially they used it for safer welding, but later claimed it could power cars. However, their theories were not backed by science, and their claims seemed exaggerated. The company later admitted that their device could only make cars more fuel efficient, not run on water alone. Another company, Genesis World Energy, claimed in 2002 to have a device that could get energy from water. They raised significant funds from investors but never produced a working product. In 2006, the company's owner, Patrick Kelly, was jailed for fraud. In 2008, the same year Jip Parks made their announcement, a man in Sri Lanka named Tushara Priyal Danayaka claimed he had driven a car on water for 190 miles using just 3 liters of water. The Prime Minister of Sri Lanka supported him, but Tushara was later arrested for fraud. His claims, like many before him, were exaggerated and misleading. More recently, in 2022, Arianto Mel from Indonesia claimed to have made a device called Encuba that could turn water into hydrogen fuel. He claimed it could power motorcycles for 500 kilometers on 1 liter of water, and that major car companies like Lamborghini and Ferrari were interested. However, scientists in Indonesia doubted his claims, stating the device was impossible according to physics. They also discovered that the car companies were not genuinely interested. Arianto's story, like others, seemed to be more about making bold claims than providing real proof.